Performing on bare boxes in the 1960s and reeling out big hits like If I Follow My Heart and No Man is an Island. In celebration of Reggae Month, we honor this musical soul soothing icon. Have you figured out who it is? Well, stick around as we unveil his identity later in this Wednesday edition of Jamaica Magazine. We're so glad you could join us. There's lots more to explore as we keep the vibes steady and reggae in this half-hour package. Keep rocking with us. We'll be right back.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, February 8, 2023. Government is introducing regulation to modify the types of child restraint required in private and public passenger vehicles based on a child's age and size. Minister of Transport and Mining Audley Shaw gave the update in a statement to the House of Representatives yesterday. It follows concerns raised by taxi operators as the current regulations to the new Road Traffic Act place the responsibility on the driver of a vehicle to ensure that every child is conveyed in a prescribed child restraint system.
The risk of the inability to access transportation services may exceed the risk associated with travel without using a child restraint system. And in this regard, the rules applicable to public transport vehicles will have to be less stringent than those for private vehicles.
Only children who are of the weight and size to use an adult seatbelt are permitted to travel in the front passenger seat, and where an adult is restraining a child, the adult should not be in the front.
In licensed taxis and buses, children are allowed to travel without restraint, but where a lap belt is available, it should be used. If a child is of the size to use an adult belt, this may be used if available.
The updated regulation specifies that children 0 to 1 year old must be restrained by an adult, while those 1 to 3 years old may travel with no restraint or be restrained by an adult. 3 to 6 years old may travel without restraint or be restrained by an adult or a lap seat belt. 6 to 9 years old may travel without restraint or with a lap belt, and children over 9 years old may travel without restraint with a lap belt or a 3-point seat belt. The new child seat requirements will be added to the 13th schedule of the road traffic regulations. The police are reporting a 31% decline in all major crimes since the start of the year, with murders down by 34% over the corresponding period of 2022. Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson provided these statistics at a digital press briefing yesterday. Shootings are down by 26%, rapes by 47%, robberies by 44%, and break-ins 7%. As for murder, he says gang conflicts accounted for 65% of all those committed during the period.
And interpersonal conflicts accounted for 22%, while 3% occurred in the furtherance of other criminal acts, and 10% are still being determined. We note the significant number of murders from interpersonal conflicts impacting police divisions. We renew our appeal to citizens. If you are aware of a domestic dispute or other interpersonal conflict, report it to the police so we can intervene.
To further boost the Jamaica Constabulary Force's crime-fighting capacity, the police commissioner says the administration is targeting the addition of more than 1,200 members to the organization by the end of the financial year. 500 schools are being targeted for restorative justice practices this year as government continues to promote alternative dispute resolution measures among the nation's youth. Minister of Justice Delroy Chuck gave that update as he addressed the Restorative Justice RJ session with Kingston Technical High School students yesterday at the Hope Gardens. He revealed that the target for 2023 is more than double the 232 schools in which restorative justice practices were introduced last year. Education and Youth Minister Favour Williams has endorsed the initiative.
We have to devise all kinds of programs for you to help you in your daily interactions with your peers to understand that disagreements are going to happen as you interact, right? We can't avoid that. It's the only thing you can control is your reaction to the events that are unfolding in the moment.
The move also coincides with a partnership between the Justice Ministry and the churches, where 3,000 congregations are to be sensitized on restorative justice.
Because we think we have a good product, that we are taking it to the schools, to the churches, and to the communities. Restorative justice is God sent. It is about accepting responsibility and about forgiveness.
Yesterday's session with Kingston Technical High School students was part of activities to mark Restorative Justice Week. At the close of the session, the students participated in a balloon release where they wrote whatever troubles they may be facing on balloons that were then let go. This was followed by a tour of the Hope Zoo, and the students were gifted with tokens before their departure. In other justice news, the ministry is seeking to move towards a paperless court system this year. Portfolio Minister Delroy Chuck tells JIS News that this will form part of the ministry's continued efforts to improve technology integration and increase the connectivity and internet penetration within the justice system. He says the ministry will be working with the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, to help get this done under the Social Justice Programme. In the meantime, Minister Chuck is encouraging Jamaicans to reach out to the ministry for justice services. Any citizen can call 888-JUSTICE to get information. Persons can then use that information to determine if they should go to the Victim Services Division, the Legal Aid Council, or Restorative Justice Section for help. And finally, 3 educators have been named Teacher and Principal of the Year for their outstanding contributions to the education sector. Jody Brown of Maran Bay Primary School is Teacher of the Year, while Gina Mullings of St. Catherine High School is the Technical and Vocational Education and Training TVET Teacher of the Year. Dwayne Mulgrave of Discovery Bay High School has been named Principal of the Year. The awards are a joint effort of the Lasco Chin Foundation, the Ministry of Education and Youth, and the Jamaica Teaching Council. Acting Chief Education Officer Dr. Kassan Troop praised the teachers for their valiant efforts throughout the COVID-19 pandemic.
I can testify of the fact that for the first time in the history of education, we were able to train over 25,000 educators at the touch of a button. Our teachers were ready. And we had to pivot to what we call virtual instructional leadership. And we pulled on our principals because we had to equip them to lead from a distance. We had to make many changes. But today, we have seeds of opportunities that we can celebrate.
As part of their winnings, the top teachers and principal were given an all-expenses-paid trip to the 2023 Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development ASCD conference in Denver, Colorado, in the United States. Overall, 130 educators were honored for their excellent contributions to the country's educational system. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Looking for that next science project, one that will make a lasting impact, and one that's also economically beneficial? Look no further than the National School Tree Planting Competition. We're calling on all schools from early childhood right up to the tertiary level to sign up for this worthy cause. The school that plants the most fruit or ornamental trees will get $300,000. Visit the Forestry Department's website to submit your entries for a chance to win awesome cash prizes and awards. Don't forget to download the 876 Trees app and see the progress of each tree planted. Get those green thumbs working and let the planting begin. Entries close on February 28, 2023.
It's the backyard of reggae, where many great musicians lived, such as the legendary Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Bunny Wailer. It's a collection of times past, preserving the prolific vibrations of the genre. Watch this.
Some call it the Hollywood of Jamaica, while others refer to it as the cradle of Jamaica's music. This place is packed with history, and lucky for you, we will be exploring some of it today.
This culture is a museum, you know, and it's a history of Trenchtown. It have a whole lot of legacy in it.
Yes, the Culture Yard, which is situated at Lower First Street in Trenchtown, is one of the many houses built by the Central Housing Authority between 1940 and 1949. These government houses were built on 200 acres of land and subdivided to facilitate a residential community to be called Trenchtown.
Trenchtown itself, it was named after a person, and the name of that person is Daniel Power Trench. Daniel was born in Jamaica. His mother was Jamaican, but his father was an Irishman. So Daniel's father came to the Caribbean, basically, to the business, and he met this woman. They got married and had 14 children, and there comes Daniel. Greenwich Park Estate Land, that was the name of the estate that was owned by Mr. Trench. And what had happened was, before Daniel died, you know, he was born 1813, he died 1884. He actually left that land, the estate land, to last his family at least 99 years. And what had happened was, there was a huge earthquake in 1907 that had destroyed the estate land beyond repair. So later on, the land became a squatter settlement. You had persons who started to squat on the land, and afterwards now you find where the government came in and had asked the family to sell the land to them. So it was sold to the government, and that's when the government now divided the land in different areas.
On the land, the government built 4 different blocks of houses, namely H, S, T, and U block. On the U block is the Trenchtown Culture Yard. People travel from near and far to learn about the phenomenal history of Trenchtown and the successful people and musical bands it has produced, such as the Heptones, Abyssinians, and the Wailers. Within these walls, visitors also get to observe furnishing and instruments used by the musical icons who once lived here, including the great Bob Marley and his mentor and co-writer, Vincent Tata Ford.
So, Vincent Ford, this is all his writings on the wall. This is him. This is his furniture. This is his Bible.
It was in this space that the popular Bob Marley hit, No Woman No Cry, was penned. In this song, listeners are able to get a feel of some of his experiences while living here.
His first vehicle of what he owns, his first acoustic guitar, the single bed of what he sings about also is there. And there are many bits and pieces of Bob that is still here.
It's emotional.
After an emotional tour of the rooms and galleries, visitors get the chance to wander the courtyard, where they will find this fascinating statue of Bob. And this captivating mural of the culture tour. But the tour of the Culture Museum and Yard is just one of 3 tours available to visitors.
So normally we offer 3 different tours. The tour 1 is just inside the Culture Yard itself. You get a guided tour with one of our tour guides, and it's just a tour inside of the galleries. We offer a second tour. That tour takes you to where Bob Marley's mom lived when she came here in 1956 and Bob was only 11. So that house is basically not just Bob Marley's mother's house. It is also where Bunny Wailer lived. Because, you know, Bunny Wailer and Bob Marley, they were stepbrothers and they share the same home. We also have different craft shops in the area where somehow persons can make their own money. So the guides would walk with you there. There's also Trenchtown Ceramics, where the persons, they make ceramics out of our own Trenchtown clay. And at the end of that, it stops at the recording studio that we have in Trenchtown called the Jamming Studio. So there, persons know, the guests get an experience of how the rhythms are made.
It's evident that the Culture Yard is a must-see for anyone who wants to learn more about Bob, Jamaican music, and the phenomenal evolution of Trenchtown. It's no wonder the site was declared Jamaica's first inner-city heritage site. The venue opens every day, 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Mondays to Saturdays, and 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. To arrange your visit or guided tour, all you have to do is contact tour manager Sophia Doe at 876-859-6741.
Trust me, you don't want to miss out on this rich cultural experience.
At the start of the show, we promised to tell you who is the Mr. Jamaican reggae icon. We now take you to a throwback performance of the Crown Prince of Reggae, Dennis Emmanuel Brown, in his element.
Come on down, come on down, come on down now. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Look at my head is anointed. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of my life. And me no one, no wish to be with no evil man. For there comes the day you'll be with by the Father's hand. Live up and still, Jay. Whoa, whoa.
Do not disclose your personal identification number for bank cards, in emails, or over the phone, as banks do not require this information to verify your accounts. Be aware of the ways cyber criminals try to steal your personal information, and learn how to secure your data online.
Cybersecurity trends, though ever-changing, are a constant in today's society, even more so due to the increased usage of technology to attend school, conduct meetings, carry out work tasks, and basic day-to-day necessities.
There are a lot of trends out there, but as far as the online space, phishing is one of the enduring challenges out there, and the trend these days is to actually utilize COVID-19 resource sites as a platform from which to launch these attacks. They look very much like the official sites for a lot of these companies, and if you're really not wary, you will actually not realize that there are subtle changes, such as misspellings, such as a graphic that is not where it should be.
So phishing, what really is it? According to our research, it is a type of social engineering attack often used to steal your user data, including login credentials and credit card numbers. As Lieutenant Colonel Sterling just explained, the hackers can replicate a trusted website. They can even trick you into opening malicious emails and messages. Once you do this, by clicking the link attached, you could very well be giving the hackers access to your private information, so be careful.
Additionally, we've seen an uptick in ransomware, and this is where this usually starts as part of a phishing campaign, and when you have fallen victim, the end result is that the attacker gains access to either your device or your network, and they encrypt your files and ask for ransom. But we're also seeing an increase in cryptojacking. This is where hackers will actually steal your cryptocurrencies, and they will take them to exchanges and cash out. So as Jamaicans become more adept at buying cryptocurrency and supporting our own digital currency issued by the central bank, they have to be more wary of some of the pitfalls of cryptojacking online. Now, we have seen also a good trends where the use of HTTPS for web-facing resources has increased by about 174% within the region. We have also seen a downward trend in malware infections because more persons are installing antivirus and anti-malware software and are generally becoming more responsible in their use. The need for security, if you really measure it, is costly, but the existence of a lack of security can be even more costly. Now, for the individual, there are free apps within the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store that you can use to help to secure your devices. And sometimes for a nominal cost, there are some that you can also use that will do a better job. Now, what works for you is really going to be up to what you do online and the devices that you have. But the risk of not having any protection at all is one that cannot necessarily have a dollar value placed to it. If your device gets encrypted by ransomware, what is the cost of it? Do you have backups? So that's another thing that you need to do, to back up your device, not just the settings, but also your data on the device. It is very easy to get pirated software or so-called free software from some download sites and torrents, but usually they come with unwelcome and hidden residents that will take over your devices and will sometimes cause you grief. So while it does have a cost attached to it, you have to do the cost-benefit analysis. What is the cost of not having security versus having security? And I can almost assure you that when you really do it, the cost of security will work out way cheaper than not having security.
Respect for myself and others. Self-discipline means there's a right way to conflict resolution. Kindness and compassion say being nice is normal. Honesty and integrity are badges of honor. Yes, we choose values for life. Up next is the central goal that all users of the roads must aim to achieve: safety. The only way to be safe on our roads is to do the right actions. Watch this.
We have stepped up our road spot check operations across the country to ensure that only effective motor vehicles are on the roadway and defective vehicles are not allowed to traverse the network willy-nilly. I'd like to use this opportunity to appeal to all motorists. I have noticed some trends out there where there is different type of license plates on motor vehicles. Only the Jamaican issued driver's license plates are to be on the motor vehicles. I'm appealing to motorists out there. I'm appealing to them. We have removed many plates because of fandangles that are on the motor vehicle. Colorful lights, red light, purple light, blue light. I love purple and white, but the purple is not no purple light must on the vehicle. Blue light, yellow light, orange light, and these multicolored lights. Get them off. Your headlight must be white. That's the law. You don't want us to take them off during the road spot check operation because it will mean that you could be issued a E1 certificate, a certificate of defects, and you'll have to take funds out of your pocket to get back your plates. The tinting of your windscreen, cut it out because it affects visibility and it has a potential risk factor for traffic crashes. Public passenger vehicles, according to the Transport Authority Act, not supposed to have tints. Driving on the roadway is a very serious matter, and I would like to appeal to persons whom we have issued driver's license to. Remember that we don't want you to violate, because if you violate, you will get certain prizes that you don't want. So you'll get a prize if you accumulate a certain amount of points. You get a prize, your driver then suspended for 6 months. If you don't listen, you don't hear, you could open up yourself for another prize. And that prize would be a license, could be suspended for a year. If you don't like that prize, you could work harder again and get a bigger prize. And that prize, your license could be suspended for 2 years. We would like to appeal to persons who transport. Once you transport any passenger in a motor vehicle, ensure that they are buckled, whether they are on the front or they are on the back. The seatbelt gives people a fighting chance to survive the crash. Many people have died who never give themselves a fighting chance.
Looking at the data, we recognize certain points of interest that we, the road safety, would be looking at in seeing how we can actively engage our citizens and how we can reduce the number of injuries and fatalities that are occurring on our roads. So one of them is actually speeding. Now, most motorists and bikers who currently represent 35% and 18% of road fatalities, we're appealing to them to reduce and think about themselves and others who are using the roadway. Another road user group that we are actually targeting is pedestrians, and they represent 20% of our fatalities. And we want to appeal to them to be vigilant, to really utilize the road carefully, be alert, don't cross from corners, walk facing the traffic so you can see what we're doing, wear light color clothing at nights and reflective clothing at nights so you can be seen.
Obedience is always better than sacrifice. That's the word from Elohim.
I urge all motorists, motorcyclists, pedal cyclists and pedestrians to use the roads defensively and for your fellow road users. The onus is on all of us as road users to ensure that we are alert, patient, and responsible whenever we use the roads. Sometimes, and I drive and have a driver as well, and you see things on the road. And guess what? Sometimes you have the right of way. But not because you always have the right of way. You must insist. Sometimes you just have to be accommodative, in order to help to prevent accidents.
Grab a copy of the Road Traffic Act 2018 and get familiar with the new road safety measures. Be sure to join us again tomorrow for another informative edition of Jamaica Magazine. Catch the latest updates and find more content like this on our website, jis.gov.jm. You can also send us your feedback on today's show or any of our programs via email, jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Stay in love, stay in peace, cut your speed.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.